James had not seen Sir Topham Hatt for some time. Not since the day when he had nearly lost his red coat and been painted blue instead. That was the time when James had been very naughty. First, he had let off steam and sprayed water on Sir Topham Hatt's new top hat. Then he had ran too fast and made a hole in one of the coaches. The driver had to mend the hole with newspaper and the whole thing's a passenger's bootlace. Sir Topham Hatt had been very angry. Now James was alone in the shed. He wasn't allowed to pull or push coaches and freight cars in the yard. At last, Sir Topham Hatt arrived and came to see him. "I can see that you are sorry, James," Sir Topham Hatt said. "I hope now that you will be a really useful engine. You have given me a lot of trouble. People are laughing at my railway, and I do not like that at all." James said he was very sorry and promised to do his best. Sir Topham Hatt said, "I want you to pull some freight cars for me." James was delighted and puffed away. "Here's your freight train, James," said Thomas the Tank Engine. "Have you got some bootlaces ready?" Thomas ran off laughing.
Oh, we want a proper engine, not a red monster."
But James took no notice and started as soon as the conductor was ready. Come along," he puffed, but the troublesome trucks were being very naughty. We won't, they screamed. James took no notice, and he pulled the screeching car sternly out of the station and onto the line. The troublesome trucks tried very hard to make James give up, but he still kept on. Sometimes their brakes would slip on, and sometimes their axles would run hot. Each time the trouble had to be put right, and each time James would start again. But he was not going to let them beat him. Give up, you can't pull us," shouted the troublesome trucks. But James puffed on, and slowly he pulled them along the line. At last they saw Gordon's Hill. This was the famous place where Gordon the big proud engine had once got stuck. Little Edward, one of the tender engines, had to push Gordon up the hill. As James came near to the hill, his driver warned him to be careful and to look out for trouble from the troublesome trucks. "We'll go fast and get them up the hill before they know it. Don't let them stop you," the driver whispered to James. So James went faster and faster, and soon they were halfway up the hill. I'm doing it, he panted. "Will the top ever come?" Then with a sudden jerk, it all became easier. James thought it was over, and that he had pulled the cars up to the top of the hill without any trouble. But his driver shut off steam. "They've done it again," he said. "We've left our tail behind. Look." The last cars were running backwards down the hill. The coupling had broken, but the conductor stopped the cars and climbed out to warn the other engines. "That's why it was so easy," said James, as he backed the other cars carefully down the hill. "What silly things freight cars are. There might have been an accident." Edward had come along. He offered to help James, but had decided that he was going to pull these cars by himself. "Good," said Edward. "Don't let them beat you." James struggled slowly up the hill. He pulled and puffed as hard as he could. After a long time, he finally pulled the troublesome trucks to the top of the hill. "I've done it! I've done it!" he cried, and his driver cheered. They reached to the station safely, and James was resting in the yard when Edward pulled up. "Beep, beep," Edward whistled. Then James saw Sir Topham Hatt. He thought that he would be in trouble.
Oh dear, what will he say? What will he say?
But Sir Topham Hatt was smiling. He had been in Edward's train and he had seen everything. "You've made the most troublesome train on the line, PA," he said. "After that, you deserve to keep your red coat."